welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I know that there are so many things that you could be doing right now with your precious time, and you're here with me. So I truly do appreciate you being here. My name is Ashley Martinez. If you are new here, I am a mom of 4. I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and they range in age from 14 to 4. So we are currently living in Northeast Ohio. We are from the St. Louis area originally, and we have also lived in South Florida. Due to my husband's job, it kind of moves us around, and we love that. We love adventure. We love to see different parts of the country. But we're relatively new here in Ohio and new to this home. We moved in at the end of March. So slowly I'm getting things the way that I would like them, and I think that we'll be here for a while. And so our oldest is starting her freshman year of high school. So I think that we will probably be here at least for the next 4 years. You never know what the future holds, but that's kind of my thought on it. Anyway, so today's video is going to just be basically a morning routine type of video. So this is what I typically do every morning, and as you can see, we started off in the laundry room like I always do, and then we head to the kitchen, which is always the next thing that I do. So I had run this robot mop vacuum the night before. You'll see we had kind of had a huge mess on the dining table because we were doing some stuff with the Cricut. I was making some like labels and some little decals for my 6th graders binders. So we had left all that mess out, and I had gone to Costco the day before, so I have some of that stuff still to put away. But I'm just going to start here, get things a little bit picked up, and then shortly I'm going to show you 2 different things that I cook really frequently. So one of them is a chicken bone broth, and the other is a easy crock pot roast. So stay tuned for that, because this is the first time I'm actually able to include some like cooking footage. It just has never worked out before, but I did want to start off with the chicken bone broth because that is something that we have every week, and I swear by it. I honestly feel like it keeps our kids healthy. It even keeps like my husband and myself healthy. So stay tuned for that, and let's get to picking up this kitchen and the living room. is there anything better than a nice clean living room and a perfectly clean kitchen with nice wiped down counters, a candle's lit? I mean, this is the vibe right now. But I'm getting ready to go ruin it because I'm going to start prepping some dinner. We've been doing a lot of easy like crock pot dinners and soups where, you know, I can kind of feed the kids in shifts, because right now is definitely a season of overwhelm and double booking with the school year starting, and with, you know, we don't live by family, so we really don't have the help which comes with like having grandparents nearby. And all 4 kids are in different schools. All 4 of them are doing sports, so it's just a lot. But I know things will slow down, especially, you know, when the winter comes in Ohio. We're not going to be outside doing sports. I want to give you a warning right now that I'm going to show raw meat here in a minute, and I don't want to gross anybody out. So if you're not into that sort of thing, turn away for the next, I don't know, minute or so. So I'm going to make a roast in the crock pot. And this is just how I always do it. My mother-in-law does it this way, and this is like a really common recipe that I've seen on Pinterest and whatnot. But I always get this 2-pack of roast from Costco. One of them is like perfect to feed us with our family of 6. So I cook one, and then I'm just gonna keep the other one in the freezer. What I do is I always cook it on low for, you know, 8 hours or however long. It depends. Like I said, sometimes the kids are eating really early or they're eating really late after sports. But put the roast in. I put this dry packet of onion soup mix over the top, and then I add a full can of the cream of mushroom soup. On top of that, I also sometimes will add like some pepperoncinis, those jarred pepperoncinis that are kind of like by the pickles and stuff, and put in a little bit of that juice. That's totally optional. So I have this set now. I'm going to turn this on, and this particular night I had definitely fed each kid at a different time because we had a football game that Chloe, our oldest, was cheering at, and my son had baseball practice, and then my daughter had a party for cheer. So like I said, it's always kind of like crazy. But I'm going to wrap it really tightly in foil and then put it in this Ziploc bag to go ahead and keep it safe from freezer burn. So the roast is ready and that is cooking, and now I'm going to make some chicken bone broth. So the night before this, I had gone to Costco, and I always buy a rotisserie chicken there. They're really good and they're like so affordable. It's like the perfect thing to either just like put on the table with a couple sides or to make this chicken bone broth with. So the first thing I do is just cut the breast meat off. Sometimes the boys will eat the chicken legs. We don't really love dark meat, or at least I don't, so I guess kind of by default no one else does because I don't really cook with it. But I go ahead and take this meat off, and then I'm going to dice it up and put it in this glass container, stick it in the fridge. Then I'm going to take the rest of the chicken, bones, everything. I'm actually going to dump the entire like black package into the stock pot, because that way all of the like gelatinous kind of like fat and stuff will also go in there and just flavor this. So according to bonappetit.com, the difference between chicken broth and bone broth is just an exceptionally long cooking time for the bone broth. Also, and I'm not an expert on this, but I think that chicken broth you can kind of cook just more with like the meat of the chicken, whereas bone broth you need to really have like the chicken carcass, the bones and collagen and all of that. So bone broth has tons of health benefits. I'm not a doctor. You guys can look this up if you're interested in the health benefits, but I do know, it's definitely good for your immunity. And like I said, there's collagen in it. It's just a really nice, healthy food, which you can just have as a meal, or we use it. We always have it, basically. We always have some in the freezer or in the fridge, and then I use it to like cook potatoes in, make soups. If something calls for water, but it's a savory dish, I can always just substitute it with this bone broth, and I feel like it gives like some really good nutrients to my kids and, to me and to my husband. So what I put in it that day, I'm going to talk fast because I know that scene is over, but I always add a lemon, I always add an onion, and then I had some celery left over. If you really start doing this more often, you can kind of like save all of your vegetable scraps whenever you're cutting up vegetables. It can be anything, and you can just stick it in a freezer bag and keep it in the freezer. And then when you go to make your bone broth, you can just dump that whole freezer bag in there. But being a family of 6 and really cooking a lot at home, we typically have like fresh produce that I can use for that. So we also had some fresh herbs. We had some sage and rosemary, basil, cilantro, but I kind of let those die. I do not have a green thumb at all. So I went outside and I did like pick off the little bits of sage and the little bits of rosemary that could work, but the rest of them I think are kind of dead for the year. Anyway, I'm gonna let the bone broth cook for, gosh, how long did I let that cook? Probably 10 hours. We have a gas stove, so I really don't trust like leaving it overnight. I know some people do, or you could do it in a crock pot. Gonna throw this sock away. That's one of those micro annoyances, by the way, of just don't keep socks. If they're damaged and they have big holes in them, don't fold those socks up and put those back in the drawer, because when you go to put the sock on, you're just going to be mad. So just throw it away while you're there. Anyway, so the bone broth, I just cook it when I know that I'm going to be home all day. And even like when I had to run somewhere really quickly and like drop a kid off somewhere, I would just turn the stove off and then turn it back on as soon as I got home. And it was perfectly fine. It stayed super hot. So moving on, we got some laundry put away, getting more laundry started. Story of my life. We're always doing laundry here. And then I'm just going to continue cleaning. Later in the day, but better late than never. I love to get into a nice made bed. Also, look at Foster. He's about to come in and do this little dance, and it made me laugh so hard when I watched this footage back. Like, he's just a little Lord of the Dance coming through. So cheerful. Who knows what he's excited about, but look at him. Sweet boy. Right, so I always spray this like linen spray after I make my bed. It makes our room smell good. I just get it at TJ Maxx or Home Goods. I also wanted to leave this part in because the boys are playing on the fridge. This Family Hub fridge was like the best investment because they play on it for hours. They draw pictures and stuff. But listen to Graham. He is so hilarious.
Mom.
Yeah.
What did I draw? Don't ignore this. Pretend it's filled in.
Is it a soccer ball?
No. Why is it green?
Is it a baseball?
No.
Is it an Among Us character?
No.
What is it? Tell me.
Avocado from Mexico. I am so funny.
You're hilarious. I don't even. I just.
See, there's a secret inside.
to get all of the dishes put away from the dishwasher. And I wanted to show you guys this because I don't know if I've ever mentioned it before. In these display cabinets, on that top shelf, the pitcher on the far left, and then in the middle shelf there, that bowl that's like the crystal serving bowl with the silver, those belong to my husband's grandma, and she passed away in 2019. And it just like means so much that we were able to get those and that they're still like out and being seen, and they're beautiful. It just always makes me think of her and think about, you know, when she was hosting with those years and years ago. So anyway, love things like that we can have on display and that can remind us of someone that we love. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the dishes all put away, and then it's going to be time to mop the floors. I had run the robot mop the night before, and it did a really great job, but the kids a couple days before this had made homemade Play-Doh, and it wasn't a huge disaster, but there were just a few spots on the floor where like the robot mop was not going to be enough. I really just needed to get out the actual bucket. So I'm going to get that done in just a few minutes. Pine sol because it's early in the day. My husband hates the smell of the pine sol, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan. It's fine, but I like Murphy's oil a lot better. But I bought 2 huge things of pine sol at Costco, and I'm not just gonna throw it away. So I use it whenever he's not home. I did replace my mop bucket, and you guys, I'm kind of annoyed because this is the new O-Cedar, the new like design, and it has a system where you like never mop with dirty water. So the tank that I'm like filling the mop up on, it's full of clean water. There's kind of like a device where you pull it up and then like the fresh water comes through, and then you wring it out in the other side and the dirty water goes there. Okay, so here's my issue with it. The mop head that I had from my original O-Cedar mop that didn't have this like never mop with dirty water design doesn't fit. And so my other mop, I have so many replacement heads for. So now I'm like, do I just never get to use those? Do I have to go back to using my other mop? Could I maybe use this mop bucket without using that, like, I don't know, blue like thing that sets in it? I don't know. I was getting annoyed because when I like to change my mop heads out like multiple times when I'm mopping, because obviously like I'm gonna go into this guest bath here and mop around the toilet, and I'm not going to then like mop the rest of the floors because that's kind of gross. So I only have the one mop head that came with this specific mop, but my other mop, I have all the replacement head. I have like 20 replacement heads. So I don't know, I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. But I was kind of trying to beat the clock because I needed to go pick up a child from somewhere. So I'm gonna mop in this bathroom, and then I'm gonna swap out the replacement head, and you'll see I tried to make it work, but it wasn't really fitting, so I couldn't really like wring it out with this foot pedal. And when I do, like half of the mop is sticking out, so it was just spraying me, like spraying my legs. It was kind of a mess. Okay, maybe I am weird, but I actually really love to mop. I mean, look at the floor. It's beautiful. It looks so good. So we're gonna end this video the same way that we started it, which is in the laundry room. My house was smelling so good from the roast and the chicken broth, and I was just like feeling the homemaking vibes this day. Like it was probably about noon, and I feel like I had accomplished so much and I was just ready to like go and chill out and like hang out with the kids. But I had to just finish this one last load, like move the laundry over from the washer. So I had to empty the dryer first. These washcloths, I know I've talked about them before, this big pile here that's sitting on the counter. These are washcloths from the automotive section at Costco, and they are under $20 for I think a 50 or 60 pack of them. They're huge, they're absorbent, you can bleach them. If you have a Costco membership, highly recommend. So I'm gonna get those folded up and put in the drawer in just a little bit, but we use those for everything, for drying our hands. We really don't use paper towels at all, except for if it's like something in the bathroom that we're cleaning up or something like that. But yeah, so those are such a good purchase. Guys, I say this every time. I'm probably always going to say it, but I cannot thank you enough for being here. You're viewing my video and leaving comments and things like that when you don't have to. That's really going above and beyond. I know that we are all so busy, and to take the time out and leave a comment or like just to watch my video, just to be here, it does mean the absolute world to me. Like this is something I told you I've wanted to do for years, and I'm here and I'm doing it. And just like knowing that some of you are enjoying the videos and that it's like giving you motivation to go tackle some stuff in your house, that's like huge for me. That's all I could want, is just I want you guys to feel as just like accomplished. That feeling that you have when you're like, my counters are cleared off. I'm not doing anything that's really mind-blowing here, but this is just regular stuff that we have to do every day. But if we can just get it done and feel like we've crossed some things off our list, and that we can sit down and play with our kids in peace, or relax or study or read or hang with our husband, whatever it is that you want to do with a clean house, I want you guys to get there and be able to do it. So get up, get started. One thing will lead to another, and before you know it, you'll have most of your stuff crossed off your list and you will feel so much better. So I'm gonna go. I love you all. Thank you. See you soon.